Greetings! Welcome to a world similar to our own. A world where monsters exist but are forced to live in the shadows of the far more numerous and xenophobic humans. A world where ancient doors of power can connect to the other planes and dimensions, where harbingers seek to unlock doom's door in an effort to initiate another apocalypse. Our players tonight are Omen Class Monsters, the only ones powerful enough to stop the apocalypse. But their power comes from the same darkness as the enemy, and they constantly feel that pull of what the darkness demands. They will rely on the emotional bonds they create with each other to forestall their ruin and save the world. A word of caution to you, our dear viewer. This game deals with dark emotional themes, and there is a list of content warnings in the description. Although in our version of events, the only thing invading Ukraine is a harbinger seeking more power, the country in our real world is under attack by invaders. If you'd like to support them financially, there are links in the description below. Please take care with your own mental health. And with that, we are going to start to introduce our players. There we go. With Natisha. Oh, I can't hear you.
There we go. I was muted. Sorry. I often forget that. Hello, Natisha here, becoming hungry with Natisha. Born from a cocoon, they are ethereal, with moon eyes that glow red when they're hungry, whimsical silver hair, and moth wings that double as a cloak. They are nocturnal, and a quick way to befriend them is to either provide them with the pretty lights or donate some of your clothes to them or blood. And bonus points if you let them occasionally bite you. As Nitsa battles the endless hunger and the horror of a body gone wild, a quick fun fact about me is I sing, play piano, cello, and recently bass guitar. And I am looking to go back to school for music therapy. And today's impulse for Nitsa is, did you offer another kindness at a great cost to yourself? Get ready for some fun night with some eeriness.
Awesome. Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. I go by she, her pronouns, and today I am stepping into the sparkly pink shoes of Lada, who was once a revered goddess of love and now traipsing around in her high heels through Earth. Luminescent, glowing, pink, tall, statuesque, all those good goddess things. A fun fact about me is my favorite TV show when I was a kid was The Big Comfy Couch, and I did the clock stretches every time. Every time. Today, Lada's impulse is, did you humiliate yourself for the intimacy you crave?
Oh, God, that's going to be delicious.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Amazing. All right, Casey.
Hi everyone, Casey here. I go by he, him pronouns. I'll be bringing you Nick. That's a silent K, N-I-C-K. Thank you. I'll be playing a beloved, burly, one-eyed, time-manipulating woodsman with a Santa Claus vibe. There's a history of slapping bishops and getting sainted and such, but he's a refugee from Nibiru. He's an Anunnaki, the last of his alien race, navigating grief and seeking a future with others. A little fun fact about me is I like blackberry jam and cheddar cheese on toast. And for tonight, Nick's going to be rocking the impulse to find an innocent victim for his grief, despair, or fear. Let's dive into the night.
Alrighty. Love it. How about you, Z?
Hi, I'm Z. I'll be playing Goodwin/Genesis tonight. Goodwin was an Anunnaki obsessed with perfection, leading him to the dark arts where he summoned Genesis, a destiny-bound demon, which was a fatal mistake for him. But now Genesis navigates our world armed with Goodwin's memories and also love for humanity, and fights between inner turmoil and of wanting love and his mission for the apocalypse. my fun fact about me is that my first job was painting sale signs on car windows at a Ford dealership. My impulse for Goodwin is, did you entangle another monster with your prophecy?
Amazing. So beautiful. And finally, I'm Celtic to nephew. You can call me Celtic, you can call me D. I will be the keeper tonight. And a fun fact about me, speaking of jobs, I was once a ball seller and ice cream seller at Walt Disney World in Florida. All right. So let us start our evening. When we left off last week, the whole group of you was on a private plane on the way to Chornobyl. You were sent to you were sent to investigate an increase in radiation that could be a sign of a missing division employee and a stolen siphonovore known as the this is a great start. The parasitic library. Most of the world has heard of the tragedy of Chernobyl, but what few know is that the nuclear explosion was a byproduct of a harbinger opening up an ancient door of power. Humans like to think that the apocalypse will be this massive world ending event. But in fact, they happen a lot more often than we want to believe. Events like the Tambora eruption of 1815, which sent most of the world into a cold winter, extra cold, that froze the Thames, or the bubonic plague, or the smallpox that ran rampant through the Americas. These are all signs that a once Omen Class monster succumbed to their darker urges and had taken power from behind a door. One such door has existed in the Chernobyl region for centuries, guarded by a revolving group of humans until the Soviets thought that they could take the power of the door and harness it for something so mundane as electricity. Although our Omen Class monsters have the powers to create life and subvert death, they are no match for human politicking. Division knew tragedy was imminent, that the Soviet might was no match for a harbinger. So a team was sent to protect the door from interference. Lada, you were supposed to be on that trip. You're supposed to be part of that team. What was the last minute change that stopped you from going? And why do you believe you were the only one who could have stopped the Harbinger? And who do you think is responsible for keeping you away?
So for whatever reason, plane would not get off tarmac. Something to do with some doohickey at the front, some instrument that wouldn't cooperate. Was very annoying. I did my nails. It looked good, to be honest. But you know what the saying goes, or many of sayings. Love makes world go round, which means love might have been able to stop big problem in Chernobyl. I have pretty good idea of who it was that stopped me, but I don't want to think about it too much. Or them. You know how it goes. The more you think about something, the more power you give it.
Something like that. The more you doom scroll, the more power it has over you.
Exactly.
So as we left last week, you all were together on this plane with 4 of your handlers. As the plane lands in a small city outside of Chernobyl, what happens to your zombie?
Well, I imagine that Nick has given the handler a thorough, training session of, if you go this way, that way, you take this much time, they get less limber. You can eventually outpace them or climb over things faster than their mobility allows. And then, towards the very end, Nick's all like, all right, lethal force time. Kill it or be killed. Go.
Was this while the plane was still in the air or after it landed?
Probably during the landing sequence where you're still supposed to have your table trays up.
Amazing. And young Peter, right? It was Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and young Peter is attempting desperately to wrangle this zombie without using a weapon, because no one wants to put a hole in a plane, even if it is so close to the ground.
Cowards. Goodwin wants to help him.
Okay, how do you help him?
With I think he uses his taekwondo knowledge in this instance, with it being in the plane, and kind of Genesis tapping into the body motions, and he's just like kicks at the zombie to the wall to try and get it off its feet at least.
Mm-hmm. How well does Peter do?
Does Peter do? Is that wait?
I mean, Goodwin
With the zombie?
and Genesis can handle just about anything. I'm asking you, how does Peter do?
Oh,
Or what is your opinion of how Peter does?
I feel like I kind of think that he does not do great trying to get this zombie under control, which is why Goodwin was just like, "Ugh, whatever, I'm just gonna step in and like kicks him. And I think that Peter falls to the ground like in this bustle, and Goodwin like reaches down and like tries to be like all like ching, like, oh, I saved you, dude, and here, let me help you out.
The sparkle in like the tooth
Yeah,
as
yes,
he like
exactly.
grins.
Hmm. And yeah, definitely being like, it's okay, zombies are hard to handle. Gives him the smolder.
Amazing. That's beautiful. So as the plane lands, and you step outside, you find yourself at an old airfield that is mostly overgrown now. It's basically a field with grass surrounded by trees. Doesn't take long before an older woman, looks to be in her 80s, with a very colorful kerchief tied around her head, covering her hair, a very long dress, very old, well, we might consider old fashioned dress down to her ankles, some boots, baggy handmade woolen socks, and several layers of sweaters. Comes out. You see as she's there on the edge of the woods, she's kind of bent over. You can see how the age and gravity kind of weighs down on her. But as the plane lands and you all start to disembark, she kind of stands up, and she still has a little bit of a curve, but walks briskly over to you, much more spry than her age might suggest. Natisha, this person is greatly is very familiar to you. She is someone that you have great love for, whether you want to admit it or not. Who is Polonitsa to you? And why do you still love her?
Polonitsa is one of my sisters, and that in the past, Naknitsa thought they had eaten all of their sisters and siblings before they cocooned, and Polonitsa somehow survived. And so they loved them because they regretted devouring all of their siblings and had wished for a long time that there was one left, at least. And so yeah.
And now you know, as you see her walking up to you, there is at least one, although she looks much older than you remember. Much older than the last 35 or so years would, or 50 or so years would. She shouldn't look this old, is my point. Anyway, um, she kind of looks up and she goes, "Ah, Naknitsa, you return. You look a little different. And you brought friends. Introduce me."
Hello. And then Nagit's just gonna run up and like give a hug and then like take a bite. It's like a love bite.
So as you grab around her, you feel that she is like just covered in layers and layers of like woolen clothing. And you feel that she's like thin and frail underneath these clothes. But there's still some blood running through. It tastes off. Has Naknitsa tasted any radioactive blood before?
No. So this would be a new experience for them. And we'll be like, something's different about your blood. It doesn't taste like our other siblings.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, I've been here for decades now. It seeps into your skin no matter how you try not to. Don't be so rude, Naknitsa. You have friends.
Yes. This is food number 1, Lada. Food number 2, Nick. And food number 3, Goodwin.
I'm food number 3.
I'm food number 1.
Goodwin feels unloved.
I have not given a taste for food number 3 yet. Or food number 1, though I'm trying very hard.
Food number 1 will let you taste eventually, don't worry.
Naknitsa, you should offer your sister some of this wonderful chocolate.
Yes. There's some chocolate that has blood in it. Would you like some?
Yes. I've had this before. It's good. It's good. Come. I have more foods at my home. You come with me. And she looks you each up and down, and you feel as if she is sizing each one of you up. And Lada, when she looks at you, she kind of like raises an eyebrow, like there's a moment of recognition, and she just kind of nods, and then heads into the forest. Do you all follow?
Oh, when she leans in, Lada like also when she like raises her eyebrow, Lada like leans down and she's all like what you see?
It's been a long time since I've seen you, love, but it's nice to have you around again. You might
We
like it here more than you think.
You must forgive me. I meet lots of people. I do lots of people. Have we met before?
She just kind of grins, and you feel in that moment as if she knows exactly who you are.
Oh, I love it when they're the mysterious type.
And she, even as you're muttering that, she turns around and walks away towards the forest.
On that note, Nick is going to talk down to Peter a bit, being all like, "Who were you trying to protect in there? We would have been fine. What kind of future do you have if you can't handle one zombie?"
Meanwhile, he's just like cleaning himself off. He's got a few scratches. Ron looks like he just woke up, like he slept through the whole thing. Jasmine is already by the back of the plane smoking. She looks like she's halfway through a cigarette. And Deshawn is checking on Peter and kind of helping him clean up.
Yeah, no, when Nick is like bullying Peter, Lada like takes him and like smushes him into her like bosom and is all like, don't be mean to the little one. He's so small, he's so little. Look at this face. This is a face that only a mother could love, really. Wow, this is really a face only a I mean, no, hold on. No, I'll fix that. Don't worry. Hold on. No, hold on. I'm going to give you the next time you're off, you're going to have like a really good time. Do you know, in fact, that there is this one little woman that I've been paying attention to back in how do you say our home base? Oh, that's exactly how you say home base. Right. So this woman, her name is Anisha. Okay. And you know, I was talking to her and she is like really lonely, like really lonely. Like, have you seen her TikTok? It's just full of high velocity edits of Pedro Pascal. I had nothing to do with that. Anyways, so I think what you should do, and if you will permit me, I will ensure you have a really good weekend with Anisha. All you have to say is yes.
He looks like he has no idea what to do. He's trying desperately to like stay professional, even though he's like cheek is pressed up to your breast, and he's just like, I think I could find my own date.
Are you sure about that?
You should take her up on it, man. I've heard stories.
And he just like looks desperately towards Ron, and Ron just shrugs, goes, "Kid, I, you've got to handle yourself better than this. You can't let them walk all over you like this." And Deshawn just very gently puts a hand on your arm, not your shoulder. He's tall, but he's not that tall. Arm, and kind of pulls Peter out of your embrace.
As he's doing that, Lada just very quickly like gives him a really like sultry kiss on the cheek. Is blessing.
He turns bright red, and lets Deshawn like walk him back to the plane.
While he's still in earshot, Nick turns to Lotta and he's like, do you remember what happened the last time we had a guy that soft? He was a kid. Should not have been allowed on that bicycle.
It was tandem bicycle, was meant for two.
Oh my goodness. So, meanwhile, while all that was happening, Godwin, Nagnitsa, what are the two of you doing as Polonitsa walked into the woods?
Following Polonitsa. Maybe like really close behind, like holding onto her clothing on her garment.
Yeah, Goodwin is gonna follow them and be like, so number 3, like, I mean, how much do I have to let you drink for you to raise that? Like, I prefer number 1 if I'm going to be categorized in any way.
Your blood smells funny.
That doesn't make me feel better. And he's just going to continue to mope after Nagnisa and just be like, number 3. Never been third at anything in my life.
Get used to it. And she like winks at you.
He is distraught by this.
Like Lada comes up to Goodwin and she like snakes a hand up his arm and like squeezing the muscles, and she's all like, "You're always going to be right under me. You should just learn to enjoy it."
With that, he kind of like was like, oh, okay, I can. That's something I can get under being under. But I'm still the best at the bottom.
I will make you feel really good about being number 3.
He is still like kind of like saddened about hearing the number 3. He's like, oh, that still hurts my pride a little bit with that. But
What if I were to say it like this? What if I were to say, "Ugh, number 3.
It's your favorite number?
It's my favorite number."
yes, he you know, does the shirt thing that guys do when they're like, I gotta cool myself off kind of thing. And he says, yeah, maybe we can talk about the qualities of being number 3 later.
As long as it's keeping, your mind on mission and not on number 3.
Yeah, he why are we here again? What? We could go back to the plane real quick, can't we?
She like smacks him upside the head. She's like, "Come on, dum dum.
And he
Remember
follows along like a puppy dog.
big scary monster."
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go get him.
We gotta comment, be number 1 or be under mommy.
Yes, I like that. I need that on a t-shirt, please. Says
When
I
we're-
and Goodwin.
When we are big enough for merch, we'll have a t-shirt made. Okay. Freaking amazing. So, Naknitsa, as you are holding on to your sister's cloak, she takes you through the woods. And just to remind you of the scene, it is mid December. There is the crunch of snow and dead leaves under your feet. Um, and broken branches as you are traveling through these dark woods. There are, once you get out of sight of the plane, there are no lights that you can see. It is pitch blackness. Those of you who were around before the industrial revolution, before the invention of electricity, this might look familiar. But those of the younger of you might feel a frisson of fear because there are very few places left on this planet that have no electric light. You can look up and you can see the sky above you with a bright full moon. That is your only light, that is your only guidance. Constellations look familiar, though. That's a good sign. Eventually, Polonitsa gets you all to her small cottage, several miles away from where the plane landed. It is also dark from the outside, but once she opens the door, a bright overhead light brightens up the entire room, almost like the midday sun. It's very bright, warm, homey. Everything around seems to be a picture of centuries gone by, decades gone by. There are hand painted pictures on the wall. Naknitsa, you see a version of your younger self painted on the wall.
They'll run over and point to it and be like, "Hey guys, look, it's me. It's me."
Lada will come up alongside you and like really squint at it and then like look down at you and be like, no, that's not you. And then
Is
she
it?
comes closer. No, she comes closer and she's like, you're so much prettier than that.
Ooh, good. Does that mean I could take a bite?
Soon, soon.
Okay. Good. Right now?
Okay, you know how long you waited between me saying soon and then you saying right now? Like,
Soon? Is it now?
no, soon isn't now. So what you're going to
Okay.
do is is going to be like in the time it took between you saying me saying soon and you saying right now, like multiply that by like a lot. By like the biggest number you can think of. And then like wait that amount of time before you ask me.
So like 20.
Sure.
20 minutes from now.
Sure, yeah, if that's what
Okay.
20 minutes means to you, I don't know moth math, but that sounds pretty legit. If you ask me once every 20 minutes, that's honestly a win for me. So I'm good with that. And as she's like saying all of this, she's like playing with your hair, with like stroking your like feather antennae and whatnot.
Whenever your hand gets close to her mouth, she'll try to take a bite. She's like, ah.
Oh yeah, no, Lada is like 100% like playing into the tease here.
As this conversation is happening, Polodnitsa gets some homemade strawberry wine and some cheese and vegetables kind of all set out in a big loaf of bread and sets it all up on this very small table that looks like maybe at most three people or just one person Lada or Deshawn's size could fit at. But she sets it all up, pours drinks for all of you, um, and will salute to you. Do you all drink?
Yeah, Nick will ask if the wine gets better with age first.
Uh,
Don't you fucking dare.
it gets better when you drink it.
Yeah, I think Goodwin just like knocks it back. And then I think he even puts it down and says, give me a best shot, give me another one.
Nitsa will ask if this is blood wine.
No, dear, but hold. And she goes around the corner into the pantry, and she pulls out this glass vial, and she will pour it for you and hand it to you, and it is definitely a red liquid.
Yay. I will chug it.
You would recognize it is boar's blood, but it also has a similar taint to your sister's. So that radioactive flavor, that vibe, that uranium is still running through it.
Tasty.
I'm curious what that flavor tastes like. It too. That's like spearmint or
It's a little bit spicy.
Like green Powerade.
Is like Noknitsa like doing the thing where you're like shaking the ketchup bottle to get the rest of it out?
Yeah.
Or is like there enough for Goodwin to like maybe lick the rim?
Do you have a proboscis?
No. Maybe.
You know, like the long mosquito tongue that can look in.
Oh, I was considering whether they should have that or not. But like maybe in a future form as they
you
change.
have some more changing to do. That is very true. Okay.
Awesome.
So, as you sit there eating and drinking, Polodnitsa will tell you that yes, we had a spike in radioactivity. Got the scientists all in a huff, but I did contact division, as I knew you all would most likely need to know. Although, Nitsa dear, I didn't know you were with division.
You
Ah,
didn't know your own sister was part of World Secret Organization to fight. Oh, wait, keyword
Secret.
secret. My
Very good.
bad.
Hmm.
yes, I've been with Division since I hatched from the cocoon.
Yes, yes. Well, it's good. You stayed in there longer than we expected, but you seem to have come out looking very good, very strong. I can see your wings are quite unusual. I've never seen such a pattern like this before. It almost looks like stars or constellations or something.
Yes, I ate a rock.
She had a glow up. They had a glow up.
I had a glow up.
Yeah. Uh, a rock up. Doesn't work.
Very nutrient rich.
Very, very
They craved
tasty
that
rock.
mineral.
I want some more of that rock. Lotta gave it to me. It was very nice.
Yes, it's very good that to see you have friends now. Yes, but yes, we've things have changed around here a lot. These tourists they come in all the time with they're taking the pictures, and there's even occasionally cell phone service. And she gives Lotta a particular look as she says, "But you'll find that there's no technology here in my home. You might like that." And then she kind of looks back towards the rest of you and says, but I do not go anywhere near anything. I am too old, especially this time of year. I am very weak, so I cannot go to all these places. So I call division, yeah? And they they sent you. You are a little later than I expected, but it's very good to see you, Nitsa.
Very good to see you too.
Given the opportunity where our wonderful host is talking about how terrible the tourists are, Nick will chime in with like, "Oh, they're just the worst. These people these days, they're all so greedy." And every decade, the children, it's almost insane. The education that they have just allows them to be more greedy. They're the worst. Just gonna take some darkness tokens for that.
Would you like me to take care of some of those tourists? I can use a snack.
What you do is what you do. Just I'm sure now you work for division. You know how to do it quietly. Yes,
No
so
witnesses.
yeah, that is
Hmm.
it's good. So we have many places to go. So there's Pripyat. That is the old cities. Sometimes the stalkers they move in there. They spend a few nights and they leave. They bring like tourists, but cheap. And the tourists, they usually don't spend the night. There's like one hotel down by the reactor, but I would stay clear of that. I don't think anything of that will be helpful, but maybe. Uh, the Red Forest, yes. Very few people go there. No humans there. They all, they're too scared. The radiation, very, very strong. And yeah, so we have the places around that you can go and you could see. Don't know where you want to go. But for tonight, there's a few hours left before dawn. Would you like to sleep? I can give you more drinks.
Yeah, no, Lada has been distracted by her phone this whole time ever since Polodnitsa made the comments about there not being any technology, and she's taken out her phone only to realize that it's completely bricked. It's just a brick, a shiny brick at this point. And it seems that she can't really make up her mind as to whether or not she wants to have like a panic attack over this.
Is this the best thing to happen or the worst?
Indeed.
I think Goodwin notices that she's panicking over this, and he like just reaches over her, like takes the phone out and like puts it in his back pocket, and just like, it's okay, it's okay, don't think about it.
She like pauses as she's like, okay, hold on. How do I feel? Wait, do I want to fight him? Is it worth killing Goodwin? She like has this look on her face, like, and then she just relaxes. And it's like a very tentative relaxation of like, is it gonna get me if I just and then she just kind of like settles into the chair and like folds her hands and is just like, this is really, really weird. But I'm okay.
As you come to that realization, you feel a sense of almost emptiness for a moment. And then you realize that you can also feel the love between Naknitsa and Polodnitsa as sisters, that bond. And it's subtle and it's not over the top. And it's something that you haven't felt in a very long time. It's nice. How does Lada feel in this moment of being able to feel this sibling love without the influence of technology?
She doesn't necessarily feel that she owes Naknitsa something, but her own affection for Naknitsa is such that it's not even a want or a conscious decision. It is a reflection of that love. It is reciprocation, because she already feels so strongly for Naknitsa that it's just a natural flow state for Lada to very casually offer her hand in front of Naknitsa's face.
Yay. Can you take a little nibble? Very gently. With a bit of blood.
Well, it's. I will let you decide how it tastes. I'm going to assume there are notes of love.
Yeah.
Missing that radioactive taint of your sister in the boar's blood.
It is a nice change. While the spice was nice from the radioactive blood, it was a nice, calm, sweeter taste, full of love. With hints of cocoa. I don't know.
Perfect. No, that's great. I'm so pleased.
And probably a little bit of that wine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Does that mean Naknitsa can do our blood alcohol level testing?
Maybe.
I was just thinking that. You have a future career available for you in what's it called? DUI testing.
No, she's way too cute to be cop. Actually, hold on. Let me imagine for a moment. And she just sits back, like imagining Naknitsa in a little cop uniform.
It was kind of cute.
It's only, yeah, you know what is kind of cute? You'd make a very cute pig.
I will dress up as a cop just for you.
Oh?
If that means I get more blood.
I don't know. Does that mean you're including the handcuffs?
Uh, uh, uh. Sure.
Zing! I win again. Okay. Are we? Do we need sleep? We are Omen Class Monsters. I personally do not need to sleep. And she looks at Goodwin.
That's what I was thinking.
No sleep. No.
We were on the plane for hours.
So where is big bad problem emanating from exactly?
It's been a few weeks. Everything seems to have settled back down. There's occasionally spikes all over the area, but I don't really know. That's why you're here, right?
Well, I mean, we're
So,
here because you did the thing where you saw something or felt something and then decided you wanted to call us. So, what was the last thing you saw or felt that provoked you to pick up phone or whatever it is
oh,
you did?
yes, I see. Yes. Uh, the scientists say they had a problem because uh the radiation it spiked, right? It spiked in the city of Pripyat. It spiked in the reactor, even though it is covered with that horrible metal creation. Uh, it is spiked in the forest. Um, Possibly whatever made all these spikes happen go away because you take so long to get here. But
Well, that's somebody's fault, not mine. Anyways, what is nearest location of Spike?
I see, yeah, that would be Pripyat or Red Forest. They are both basically the same distance from here in one direction or another.
We were
Uh,
just in a forest. Let's go to the other place.
okay, whatever you want. Forest offers more privacy, but okay.
Yeah, I was going to say forest because I'm not ready to be around more people.
Okay, well then let's go to the forest.
You'll find that in Pripyat there are not so many people. It's a dead city, you know. You not pay attention. Okay, so when the whole thing happened, where the Harbinger opened the door of power and caused the apocalypse and caused the nuclear reactor to go explode everywhere, right? The whole city is dead. It is being taken back over by nature, the trees and
Thank
the
Lana.
animals. There's no people. There's people, but it's like maybe 1,000 people, and they usually are the stalkers, and they hide all the time. They don't want to find you. They don't want to see you. They think you are military, and you kick them out. So
Can
you can go to the forest, but I just saying that during the day at Chernobyl, there are much more people there. At night, it is very quiet. But by the reactor, that's where the scientists are. That's where the military is. That's many people there. Like
oh,
1,000, maybe 500. I don't know. I don't pay attention really.
I mean, fair enough, I guess. I also would not pay attention. But
I live in my home. I take care of my things.
and it is a lovely home, indeed. That all being said, to the little town then. Yes? You can handle a dozen people that don't want to look at you?
Yes, Lada. Nick turns to our host. Thank you for the food.
Yes. You want to take some with you?
Please, do you have cookies?
I have these biscuits over here. Hold on. Um, and she goes in the back and she takes out this like jar Looks like it's sort of like a homely kind of facade on the outside, like golden grass, a bright midday sun, and a figure in white holding like a very large scythe. Um, and she opens it up and she pulls out a couple of um, cookies, biscuits, whatever, to hand to you.
Thank you for the food. That is a beautiful vessel. How long have you had it?
They're long enough.
Nick turns back to the group and hands a couple to Noknitsa to try.
Uh, what kind of cookies are these?
Um, delicious cookies. Um, I would say that there's
Made with fancy boar fat.
Today.
so
Liver
there
cookies.
you see like there these little cookies that look like they're shaped sort of like walnuts, like they're little balls. Um um and like there's um excuse me.
Sorry.
They're light on the outside and there's like a little thin kind of paste in the middle, like a walnut paste in the middle.
Nordix will take a bite and say, "These are all right, but they could use a little bit more blood."
Oh yes,
Guess we're going to the city.
She'll hand you another jar, like a milk bottle with a cap,
Oh.
full of blood.
Excellent. Thank you, my sister.
Of course, my sister. You take care of yourself, eh? And she that's probably the wrong accent, but she just pulls you close and gives you a hug and just like gives you a bunch of kisses like right on the mouth.
Tasty.
But like pecks, like not
Yeah.
like making it not like loud.
No. Not like kisses.
Like how you kiss your cat.
Yeah.
That's not how Lotta would tell it, but
So, you are going to Pripyat? Alrighty. As you wake your way in the night, um, through the forest, the non-red forest, you find your way to a like worn road. Um, it's got a pavement. It's like the main road into the area. It is cracked and still has like grass and snow on it. You see um the marks of faded tire tracks in the snow that look like they are a few days old. You're able to follow it. Occasionally, you come by and you do see like footprints, either crossing over the path or walking along it and then veering off. Eventually, you get to Pripyat. Um, it's hard to tell because it is so dark. Um, but you find these large concrete buildings. Most of the glass has come out or been broken or fallen away. The trees are everywhere. Young trees, only a few decades old, but it's like these buildings are grown out of the forest itself. If you climb to the top of one of these, you can overlook the darkness all around you and see vague shapes. But you do see far out in the distance, several kilometers away, the only lights in the area. And you can tell from the lights that they are from over the dome covering the reactor and the buildings, outlying buildings near in that area. As you all sit there and try to figure out what you want to do next and where you want to look first, we're going to take our break. So we'll come back in about 15 minutes after the hour. Everybody have fun, get your bios, get your drinks, and we will see you soon. Of course, I do not have my thing ready. And we're back. Hello, everyone. I hope you all had as good of a break as we did. Now that we are back into the thick of it, you are in Pripyat. And I'm assuming you all looked at the pictures I sent over the course of the week. Cool. So you know what you're looking at right now.
Mhm.
There are several buildings that you can come across. Um, I don't know if you want me to give you a list of them and you can decide, or if you want to grasp keys and we'll let the dice decide. How do you all want to go forward?
I'm good to grasp a key, personally. I think this is one where we describe what we're doing, right? This one. That's this
Uh,
game, right?
Yeah, and you do have to roll for it. There is actually like a move for grasping keys.
Yeah. Yeah, you said there was like some of there was like, well, I guess there's activity here, just not necessarily right now. Um, like there's the tracks and stuff like that in the ground. I don't know if I think Goodwin would just kind of use his shadow magic to see if there's anything out of the ordinary in those tracks, or like a pattern that is uh
And I mean, it's like
irregular.
car tracks and people
Yeah,
tracks.
yeah. Yeah, I meant like, yeah, is there anything that is out of the ordinary? Like, out of all the, like, I kind of envision his shadow magic, like, just kind of does like a topographical scan of the ground, and like, which of the, is there any prints that are like not normally here in this area, kind of thing.
Okay. So are you basically looking for monster tracks versus other?
Mhm. Yeah, like the
Okay.
guy, specifically the person that we are looking for.
Okay. So just a reminder, y'all are a couple of weeks late. The person who went off, they thought was human.
Okay.
He was an ordinary run of the mill division agent who walked out of this place that was emitting radiation. He was more of a paper pusher than someone you would send out on missions. He was ordered to
Mm.
go to the sick bay. No one walked him there because he's always followed orders, and he walked out the door.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um,
I was like, do we have a uniform shoe at the division? Look for some division footprints.
the other thing is keys. This isn't like
Okay.
D&D. Like this, the keys are just kind of they're more symbolic than it. You're not gonna like generally speaking, you're not gonna find the perfect shoe of the perfect person you are looking for
Oh,
because
yeah.
when we want to figure out who done it, we roll dice. I don't know who done it. I can't
Yeah,
give you a
that's
good but when you roll the grass keys and you say you're using your shadow creatures to do that, that's amazing because then that just leave it at that and then I can figure out which key I want to use and then I'll
mhm.
describe how your shadows find it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he does this shadow scout thing with his little rabbits then.
All right, you send the
Okay.
shadow rabbits out.
So I get to I have darkness tokens this time to use for the first time.
Yay.
Um this is this adding dice to my roll each point? It adds a dice to the roll?
No, not dice, but it adds a +1 for every darkness token you use.
Okay.
So the
Cool.
dice rolled will always be 2d6.
Cool. I will just spend one then. First try.
That's all right. That's all right. So that is a miss. So that means you find more than you were ready for. You may choose to mark ruin to still uncover a key. But in doing so, the keeper me, will reveal how you come closer to becoming a harbinger.
You could also spend bonds.
You do have 5 bonds.
Yeah, you have bonds with like us, our like characters.
You would have to spend 2.
2 bonds to
If you
find a
want to
key,
reach 8.
or it would be a ruin.
Or just let it slide and not find anything and get frustrated.
I think a ruin sounds kind of fun, so I want to do that.
I mean, if one of y'all doesn't become a harbinger at the end of this, what game are we even playing?
So just add
You
a ruin point?
Yeah. So you don't want to spend bonds, right?
No, I think ruin sounds cool.
Yes. So you mark 1 ruin. You still get a key. So as you send your shadows out into the buildings, it's kind of like they're moving through thick treacle because one thing about shadows, like you would think that this is all darkness and therefore everything's kind of shadowed, but also shadows are created by like the darkness blocking the light, and there is no light right now. So they're moving through everything, but it does feel like a thicker treacle kind of feel to it. They kind of slide in and out of buildings around big thick rooted trees that are literally growing out of the walls. And they come into an area, and as they glide over this bumpy floor, they all kind of go out. And as they send back these sensations, you understand that they are looking at a floor full of 35-year-old gas masks. But the radiation coming off of that is bouncing back at you. And in that moment, you also hear the crackle of an old fashioned radio and orders being shouted in a panicked Russian. So I want to ask this panicked shouting, this radiation, um, this whole feel of panic and fear. How does Genesis react with this?
I think for Genesis, panic and fear is pretty normal feeling for her to be around. Being from hell. She is also works for a wrath demon.
So does it feel delicious?
I think that part of her is very much like, aw, nostalgia. Like it feels so comforting.
Okay. Awesome. I like that. So as you feel that, and it's not even a feeling of oh nostalgia, this feels home because that's a human feeling. Genesis is a demon of hell whose tendency for violence has been held back by Goodwin's goodness. But now you're being reminded of that violence and that terror, and it's come that much closer to the surface. Um, that's what that ruin kind of.
Mm.
But I would also like to give you a condition to symbolize that. Ooh, raging.
Yeah, I like it.
Alrighty.
I could find where to do that.
So if you go to look to the bottom of your playbook, you'll see those purple words, and if you just click on conditions, it will take you right there. That's the easiest way to get around 90% of your playbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are super helpful.
First time I played this game, I had a very rough time until I got used to just going down to the bottom and finding those.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
So, and I did put the key on your on our mystery map. There's the word. So it is a pile of gas masks from which the sound of orders being sent over a crackling radio.
Yeah, I think Goodwin gives like kind of like an evil laugh as this like sensation of home is being brought out in Genesis. Then he it's like sorry. Yeah, there's like a weird pile of gas masks in there. There's like some creepy stuff with a radio. I think poltergeist maybe? Or just badness. He seems giddy.
There's like a red flash to Goodwin's eyes in this laugh. This is the least like Goodwin you've seen this person. Reminds you of when you looked into their soul.
Are you talking to Nick?
Yeah. Did I not say Nick?
I didn't catch it, but it might have just dropped out for me, so I was just double checking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was for Nick.
I guess today is not going to be a nice day. Goodwin, are we feeling naughty?
I'm always feeling naughty. Well, are we gonna go check this thing out?
Lead the way.
Bust down door.
I mean, the doors are already pretty busted.
That's okay. Goodwin just wants to kick
anyway.
something.
Announcing our presence. Asserting dominance.
Alpha male energy.
Looking at Lotta.
After he breaks something. Like he'll break something and look at her. Are you impressed?
You know what? Lotta's gonna give it to him. She's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're so strong. Those muscles, they're actually good for something, you're telling me?"
They're good for a lot of things, lady.
Oh yeah, like what? Other than breaking things.
Well, I'm quite nimble, if you're asking.
Nimble?
Nimble, yeah.
You're going to lead with nimble.
It's a particular skill I've been complimented on.
Oh yeah, like how?
Do that 2-finger pull-up thing you do.
Yeah, he does the 2-finger pull-up thing.
Natisha, as this is happening, you can feel the fear and panic that's radiating off of these gas masks that are littered all over the floor. It also is tinged with that same taste that you could taste in the blood, that radioactivity. As you inhale, you can just taste everything and smell it on your tongue, the way someone else might smell and taste fresh baked cookies. You also sense life. Fresh blood. Probably human. 3 or 4 floors above you. Probably a cluster, like several people.
I sense people here. Tasty blood. Does anyone want to go find them with me?
I mean, if it'll get me away from whatever this is.
At this point, Nick is standing on the back of Goodwin, who's doing like 2-finger push-ups.
Just, yeah, showing off to the max.
Okay, Nagnita, let's go take a look. And yeah, they'll trips upstairs, right? That's where you're leading me? Upstairs? Is that what we decided on? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, and I'm holding your hand. Yes.
Oh, you're holding my hand? Okay, cool.
And you're like really tall, right? I think Natisha's like 5'6", so it's like...
Yeah, like Lada's like 12 feet tall, so if you're like 5'6", you're like a little kid. She's like, yeah. Being led around by this small moth child.
Giving you a little hand lick on your hand.
I mean, if you're going to lick.
Alrighty. As you traipse up these stairs, it's concrete all the way up. There's dust and broken edges. Every once in a while, you'll see a tree like growing it in a room by the window, as if the seeds had gone in through an open window and just planted itself there. As you go further up, do you head straight for where you sense people, or what are you doing?
Yeah, going straight to the people's, to the blood source.
They appear to be behind a door. Are you gonna kick it open?
I don't think Nitsa can kick it open, or maybe they could, but maybe a knock.
Please knock. As like Nitsa goes to knock, Lada's like, look at your manners.
So impressive. I also want to say that Lada, this whole time, as Nagnitsa is getting closer and closer, you feel that gentle love that she has for food, and that connection that she has to eating and satisfying her hunger and that enjoyment. This isn't something you really paid attention to before.
Is it just me, or like, do you really want a double cheeseburger right now?
A double blood burger?
I mean, yeah, you can get them bloody, sure, but you know, I think you and I should have dinner together.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, just a little bit of candlelight, maybe some music and some bloody steaks.
Ooh, that sounds tasty.
Now, do you like your steak actually seared, or will you just eat
No,
it raw?
raw, raw
Like,
is
like,
best.
like tartar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then is dessert your blood?
I mean, if you keep being really nice to me, we could figure something out.
Okay.
Like, can you be nice to me? Is that like even a thing you do? Like,
Uh,
what would you say to me to like get me to give you my blood right now? Like, okay, no, not right now, but like, okay, so imagine we're having dinner. There's candlelight. We've got the steaks and the raw meat and everything going. Well, what are you saying to me to get me to give you my blood?
your blood is very sweet and nice, and I like it. It smells nice.
Is right track, but could you make it a little bit more like personal?
I would like to drink your blood.
It's too much of question. But you know what? We'll work on it later. We'll work on it later. Is anyone answering your knock?
You hear like scrambling in like a mixture of like Russian and German happening um before someone finally says out huh?
Someone actually can Lara hear that? Uh hello?
And you hear Russian. Who is it?
Pizza delivery service. Who do you think it is? Honestly, open the door. We think there might be something weird going on.
You hear scrambling about um and like this broken um English with a Russian accent and a much better English with a German accent, kind of whispering at each other quietly. Um,
Hey,
and then
hey,
you
it's
hear,
no. It's very rude to whisper in front of guests.
not
And like,
Nisa,
go ahead. Sorry.
your very sense of the bodies, the warm bodies on the other side of the door, um, you can sense that they are most likely human. They don't seem tainted with that radioactive taste, and they're moving away from the door. And you could hazard that they seem to be trying to get out the window.
Is the door still closed?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna open the door. Burst
Seems
it
to be
open.
blocked by something.
Oh, Lada, can you knock the door down?
I mean, I can definitely try. That being said, though, hey, Goodwin, Nick.
Yes,
Does he like come up like?
he gives that vibe.
All right, Nick, you need to go outside. Someone's trying to get out the window. Goodwin, come over here and break down this door for me, like a really big, strong, whatever you are.
Sure, yeah. He's gonna get pissed that they blocked off the door and fuck shit up and like knock it over.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, as you break open the door, you realize it was like blocked with like a an old battered chair like underneath the doorknob. It was not locked in any way. This
Mm.
is just someone trying to like make their own little space a little more secure. Um, you can see in the dawn light as it comes up through the window that there's some like backpacker backpacks and some sleeping bags on mats, all kind of arranged and uh, outside the window. As I don't know who runs there first, you see that there's like piping outside the window, and you see the tail end of a body going climbing into the room next to yours. You then hear like running as they're attempting to run down the stairs. Not
So-
that far away. Y'all are Omen Class Monsters. You could find them if you wanted to.
Shall we chase? I'm hungry.
By all means, chase, but like maybe don't bite right
Oh.
away.
Fine.
So they're on like you said metal like stairs that are like outside of the window, you said?
No, like kind of like you know when like water pipes are sometimes outside a building.
Oh,
So they were
okay.
just basically like they had picked this room because they had some sort of escape. So
Gotcha.
they are using it. They kind of had this backup plan.
Okay. And they're shooting into the room next to us, but still upstairs.
Right. And then there, as soon as they got through into that room, you can hear them trying to run down the stairs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like this is not the best, most well thought out plan, but it might work against security guards. It should not work unless y'all want it to for you. Nick, what are you doing?
Well, I suppose I could apprehend them if no one else wants the chase. But I feel like Nick would have been like just standing on Goodwin's head, giving the impression of like supreme neck strength and all that up until the point where we actually got instructions to do something. At which point he's all like, do you want to get him, or are you good here?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go, but if you don't decide soon, I'm going to do it.
Nakanitsa, are you going to let them even decide?
They're already on their way towards the peoples.
Looks like Nitsa has it.
She's the one who wants, or they're the one that wants them in anyway.
Describe how Nitsa captures one or more of these. There's 3 young men running.
The first one that they come upon, they'll kind of jump on them and like hold them just like really tightly. Be like, hold on, wait, we want to talk to you. I promise I won't bite for now.
They're going to try and shove you off. How
I have something, if that's okay, unless Nitsa, you have an idea?
You can go ahead.
So, like, yeah, no, Lada will just very calmly be strolling up alongside all of this, like, chaos. And just as this first fleeing person tries to shove Noknitsa off, she's gonna go ahead and do the Call Me Master. She's just gonna unleash some of her power. She's 12 feet tall. She's immaculate. She's glowing. And she's like, you don't really want to run, do you? Why would you run from me?
Okay. Please roll.
Okay. Oof. We're going to spend bonds. Making that happen. Who's
Are
bond?
you sure?
I'm
sure?
so sure.
Okay. Seen what it says on a 7 and below?
That's true. No, I want it. I want it to happen.
Okay. I
Um,
want those worshippers.
I want my worshippers. Spend bonds. We have, let's see, Natisha, your bond is being spent, which makes sense because this is something that I'm trying to do, like to help you out a little bit, to like get them under control for you. So how do I spend the bonds once I've selected them? Oh, yes, that is what I want. Once you commit to the adjustment, how do I commit to it?
The purple line that says spend bonds.
There we go. That work? Yes. Perfect hit.
Perfect. Okay, so you get to choose 2. You have
Indeed.
claimed 3 new worshippers.
I have indeed, and I would like them to. The first thing is they will fulfill a single command exactly as you wish, which is tell us what you know about all these strange occurrences going on. Um, Everything you know about these strange occurrences going on, and they will grant you new powers temporarily. I would like to know more about them before I decide on that, if that's okay. Like what their whole deal is.
Yeah. So as you are as you tell them to give you answer this single command, um, you will see that the one that Nagnitsa is hanging on to, and I'm assuming you're still hanging on to his back. Um, he'll answer. He'll tell you that his name is Anton Nomov. He's like 18, 19 years old. He looks like a kid. Um, he'll tell you he's a stalker. Um, and he's kind of got these like punk vibes of fuck the man. Um, Stalkers are illegal. They're not supposed to be here. They sneak in, which is why they were running. Um, Not that anything really terrible happens. Usually they just get kicked out of the area. Um, but he is bound and determined to make money in this place because his family was affected by the travesty. And according to the modern world, it was the Soviets' fault. So there's very much this vibe of fuck the man. I'm going to get mine and I'm going to teach these people, like take these people out. And you see he's with a couple of German kids who are attempting to sneak in. You also notice they all have cell phones and they are working. Um, um, he'll tell you everything you want to know, but what he knows is limited to getting people in and out as quietly and under the radar as possible. He doesn't know much else, although he does tell you that he heard rumors um, that someone new was in town and was causing a problem. And when he describes this person, Naknitsa, you will recognize the description of Marcus. Um, Dark skinned, short, had like a vest sweater, had like curly black hair, kind of shaved, like faded along the sides, big glasses, looked really nerdy. The big confusion is it's been cold and uh, apparently he's never in any kind of winter clothes. He's just always walking around. Um, and he seems scary AF. Everyone tried to leave him alone. But this information, Anton's never seen him, and this information is like, this was a few weeks ago.
Okay, so based on that, I'm going to go ahead and say that the new powers that I'm going to get, the first one is going to be um, like stealth, like a stealth blanket for our crew, kind of like D&D pass without a trace kind of thing uh, going
He
on.
can totally get you anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, and he's very punk rock. You're saying, right? Like he's very like fuck the man and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that like that just like boosts our general like boldness and morale, like as a party. Like we're just feeling like a lot more like, yeah, we're gonna get this, Marcus. Like but maybe a little bit dangerously, because now I feel like we're a little bit more edging towards violence, like a little bit like we're really a little bit looking for a scrap, you know?
Yeah, I think Goodwin is really with the wrath on top of that. It's just like he is vibrating with like he cannot contain himself. He must keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah, so on that note, Lada's gonna like help up. What was this? Anton, you said was his name?
Anton.
Anton. So she's like going to help him up and like be like, "Oh, you poor thing," and like like dust him off and give him a little kiss and be all like, "Wouldn't you really like to show me the last place this Marcus guy was said to have been poking around? I would really, really like that."
I mean, yeah, I'd love to show you anything you want to see.
Really? You would do
Yeah.
that for me?
I mean, of course, my lady. What should I call you?
You can call me Lada.
You above. Let's go. Yeah, the last place where Dimitri ran into him was the amusement park, I think. The security doesn't usually show up until 8. So we've got a few hours. If you want, I can take you there.
Yeah, I would love that if you could do that for me. I would be really, really appreciative.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. You can tell he's totally feeling himself. You also hear the two German students behind him go like, "Hey, what about us?"
Oh,
Are
you
you just gonna?
are you wanting to come along?
Oh, I mean, can we?
You're
Yeah. We
invite. Well, I mean, could what do you think you could show me? What do you think you could show me something better than Anton can show me?
you see like 19-year-old boys who think that they are all that but are being overwhelmed by an actual mature woman kind of blush and stammer and say a bunch of stuff that doesn't mean much at all but sounds like, yeah, we could totally do that.
Lada's like, "Oh, well, why don't you come over here and I'll give each of you a little kiss, just to make sure you all feel appreciated." And she will. She'll give each of them a blessing, to embolden them. And
Mm-hmm.
she's got that fear manipulation thing going on. So she doesn't want them to be freaked out if we run into anything crazy and then like run off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so no fear, totally emboldened, and they worship you.
love to hear it. Anyways, she'll look at everybody else, so like that's how you fucking do that, and be like, "Shall we?"
Naknesa, do you climb off Anton's back yet?
They'll climb off, but then they'll look over at Lada with like those big eyes cat get when they're like begging, like, "Can I take a bite now?"
Lada's just like, "You know what? Because you were so good and you beat both of the boys at getting on this," and she like, motions to the situation. "Sure, sweetheart," and she like gives you like her like she just very casually as she's like doing something else. Actually, yeah, no, she's like, "By the way, could you Anton, could I see your phone for a second?" And she's just very casually like holding her hand out first to Nitsa for like the bite, and then the other hand being held out
The
very elegantly for the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll hand it to you without even thinking, and he unlocks it for you. As soon as that phone hits your hand, though, that feeling, that gentle love you were feeling from Naknitsa gets cut off. But you have a phone in your hand. It has 2 bars. So it's not great, but it'll get you what you need to do.
I'm just going to hold on to this for a little while, Anton, if that's okay.
Of course, Lyubov.
Oh, thank you, darling. Anyways, shall we? Nitsa, you can drink and walk at the same time, yes?
I'll only take a little bit since we still need them to show us the way.
Okay. Oh, I was offering you my little nibble off of me.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll take your nibble over theirs.
I was hoping you would say that. You had me going there for a minute. I thought maybe I wasn't your number one anymore.
Oh no, you're still number one.
Nita, I mean, this is the second time you've gotten to taste Lada. This time there's like a vague undercurrent that you don't know what it is, but it wasn't there in the hut. It tastes muted,
Staticky.
staticky.
Lada, something's influencing your blood right now.
Oh, is it that noticeable? Is it that noticeable?
Yeah, it's not as sweet as before.
Oh, I'm sorry for that, Munchkin. I can't really do much about it, but I tell you what, if I think I can get it back to being just that sweet, I will let you know, yes?
Yes, thank you.
And she leans in close and she's like, but you have to tell me. And she actually does have a look on her face of like, this, like a little bit worried. She's like, am I still your number one?
Yes, still number one.
Oh, good. Okay. Then we should get going, yes?
Yes, let's go.
You're muted, Celtic.
Thank you. As you head in the dawn's light, you can see you are walking towards the Ferris wheel. As you get closer, you see its yellow paint is faded with age. It's covered in vines and rust. There's off to one side what looks like a bumper cars area. Never, never turned on. Just sitting there, rusted. Its cars, all in a variety of poses, covered in moss. All of its seating eaten away by nature. But you're in this old amusement park, which was fully built but never opened. What would you like to do?
Is this where like Anton has taken us as like the where I requested? Like this is the last place Marcus was rumored.
This is where his friend Dimitri ran into Marcus.
Okay.
Come on, tough guy! Good one yells. He's like full like.
He's just yelling, like
Yeah.
trying to get Marcus to like come out.
I think he's even like picks up like a sticker of metal pipe or something. He's like banging it on the metal slide. Like, come on now, come out here. Let's fight. Let's get this over with.
That's amazing. Are you acting with overwhelming violence? What is that? What is it called? Are you getting the darkness tokens for that?
Overact with violence, overreact. Yeah, I would say that's probably an overreaction to the situation.
Love that for you.
Mm-hmm. No one seems to come out of the woodwork.
Well, that's annoying. Don't worry, Goodwin. That would have worked on me.
Well, it usually does, but it's pissing me off that he won't come out. That we can't find him.
It is taking a really long time. I will admit to that. I'm not into waiting. Nick, what do you... Wait, can Nick... Above table, can Nick take us back in time?
If I roll well on power through darkness, maybe.
Anton, do you know exactly what day it was Dimitri said that
It's a couple of weeks ago.
but like could you like maybe tell me exactly which day? Like maybe there's a text in your phone or something when he told you that he saw
Oh
or
yeah. He'll put his hand up for the phone.
she'll pass it off.
Yeah, he'll go into his phone and pull up a text from a Dimitri. And he, like, yeah, so it was November 5th. That it happened. I think because he texted me on the 8th, and he said it was a couple of days ago. So probably around the 5th or the 6th or.
Okay. Nick?
All right, so that's so many days. We're on this hemisphere. Moon phase that. All right, everyone get into a circle.
And
The closer you are, the better.
do we want these three to come with us, or
They're getting in a circle.
They are getting in the circle. Well, then Lada's gonna hold them close.
They don't know what's going on. They just want to be. They worship you. You're going somewhere. They're going somewhere until you tell them not to.
Fair enough. Lada's like, yeah, no. Lada's grinning. She's like, yes, yes, come here, and she like wraps them in her like hug, so that all three of them have their faces like pushed into her bosom.
They are enjoying every moment of that. Um,
I rolled the wrong thing while that was happening.
oh, well, it's still a
Oh, it's
perfect hit. You didn't have to roll again. Did you give yourself extra tokens or?
to replace the ones that I had used because it won't let you go that high. All right, so
You use your powers with great precision and effect, changing the situation before you. Additionally, yeah, so I'll say the golden opportunity is you nail it. You get exactly where you need to be. And as you are kind of pulling back time, you can see everything that's happening. You see tourists and stalkers and security guards and scientists just moving past you at blinding speed backwards as you're going back through time. And then you recognize Marcus from the description. It's late evening, probably when the tourists are done. Scientists, everybody's kind of gone. The place is closed for the day. And you see a group of young people, including a pale, dark haired young man. You might assume is Dimitri because he is showing three other young men through and trying to like keep them low key. Then you see Marcus come through. And as you're starting to like bring time, like stop the slowing of time, you see where Dimitri just seems to be having a casual conversation, and Marcus turns to him, and his eyes glow like a bright green. You see the three people just scream and run, um, and one of them like seems to drop like a backpack, like a bag. Um, and Marcus just kind of bends over and grabs it and starts to walk away. And you can bring the time to whenever you're ready.
well, I suppose time gets back to its normal passage, just a minute or so before Marcus would arrive, ideally. Just enough for us to tell everyone to shut up, shut up, shut up. Get into positions.
You hear Anton say, "Oh, that's Dmitri. What?" As you see the the three kids walk up, and then you hear the sound of Marcus coming exactly where you saw him come in.
Has the bag been put down yet?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to wait for that moment, y'all tell me what you want to do. You were lying in wait.
Yeah, no, Lada essentially is, unless someone stops her or does something else or what have you, Lada's basically going to walk up and like intercept the bag from Marcus's hands and just be like, "Hello, Marcus."
Is anybody gonna let it get that far? Goodwin, full of rage.
Yeah, I was planning on jumping out as soon as he saw it.
Oh, then you should do it, please. Like, go for it. I want that for you.
But I can certainly use the backup. Yeah, I think. Sorry, I was reading what I'm trying to find the right. Unleash the Dark is what I was thinking of using with his shadow things to basically like trip this guy and at the same time jump out from behind some bushes to try and like.
So you do have the sometimes I get angry. When you unleash the dark through anger and violence, take 3 darkness tokens before doing so.
Okay, yeah, I could do that. I guess that's more appropriate for this.
Oh, you have 13 darkness tokens?
I don't know.
Oh, this is beautiful.
I've been feeling really unloved today.
That's okay.
And angry.
So this definitely means that you are torn between, which we will get to after you unleash the dark.
Okay. Wait, okay. Just trying to figure out the pop-ups. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna add some of those darkness tokens to this.
Please do. You can add up to 3.
I'll add the max, seeing as apparently I'm being punished. Oh,
I love that for you.
I
So
also do.
your control falters and you go too far. You still get to choose one thing that the keeper from the list of an 8 to 10, but there's an unintended consequence. So go ahead and choose which one you want. What do you want from Marcus?
I think that in this case, with him going too far, I think get past their defenses and inflict condition. I think he comes out there with the metal pole that he had before and just like kind of like flops him upside the head and just like takes him down.
Okay. Yeah, so you whack him in the head. Let's see. I guess I'll say angry is a good condition.
I would be angry if someone hit me in the head with a metal pipe.
I don't have like I forgot to make a list of conditions that he will feel. So angry is what he will feel. And as you do this, the shadows that you normally control are out of control. And the rest of you hear screams as all of the young kids within the vicinity, Dimitri and his two, and Anton and his two, are being basically eaten by shadow rabbits. You hear them screams. Lada, you feel their pain, especially the pain of Anton and his 2 friends as your worshippers. If they die, you lose that power.
Oh no, we are putting a stop to that. So I guess I'm gonna unleash my darkness. That is an excellent question. I'm gonna let him figure that shit out. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and power through my darkness and essentially be all like unleashing this darker side of love, this underbelly, to um use light to essentially evaporate these shadow rabbits that are going after my worshippers. Like you
Okay.
have no power here in my bubble of love.
Perfect. So I have a question. Are you unleashing the dark or are you powering through darkness?
Oh, that's probably let's go with powering through darkness because I feel like she's trying to overcome this situation on behalf of her followers. Um, yeah, so we're averting imminent danger.
Mhm.
And let's spend how many darkness tokens am I sitting at right now? 6. So let's get 3 out of here because I would love it if something bad were to happen. Power through darkness. Let's do it.
Hit.
I
Um,
love me, honestly.
Okay. So I'm gonna put a pause in that as your now where is this light coming from?
Oh, it's coming from Lada.
Coming from Lada. So
Yeah.
is it pink?
It absolutely is pink and a little sparkly, like the 80s.
Wow. Okay.
Wow! Yeah.
So uh Goodwin, as you're going at this guy, you think you're going at him with physical violence, but your shadows are going berserk. Um you clock this guy, upside the head. He turns back to you, and his eyes just glow green. Y'all thought Marcus was um, human. There's obviously something more going on right now. As his eyes are glowing, he opens his mouth, and light starts to come out. A green, sickly green light starts to come out towards Goodwin. Goodwin, you feel the pain of your shadow creatures being ripped apart. That only the kind of pain that feels oh so fucking good to Genesis. That kind of pain that you inflicted on so many is now being inflicted upon you. But that's what you're used to. It's like you're in hell all over again. You are Genesis. What is this Goodwin bullshit? These emotions, these feelings, none of that exists. You are pain, you are anger, you are hate. You are torn between. You have this chance to lean either into the monster side of Genesis or the human side of Goodwin. And if you look at your basic moves, torn between is listed there.
Okay. I'm leaning towards Genesis just off the top of my head.
I mean, I'm not going to stop you. My goal is to turn one of y'all into a harbinger. So,
I think in the moment and with just all of the conditions and stuff like that, it does make, and with Lada destroying his shadows, like I even before we came to Torn Between, my thought was that he would react poorly to Lada doing this and maybe even turn on her in this moment, which hurts me personally.
no, it's delicious. It's beautiful. Let's do this.
You
Okay.
can bite me, kick me, scratch. No. Come on.
So yeah, do I roll something for it or do I just choose
No.
one?
So
Okay.
you just choose one.
I think yeah, I think he's gonna let the monster's nature show, and I think in the moment that Lana like destroys his shadows, he's like been beating this guy, and he like suddenly like turns like very quickly, and his eyes are just like glowing like even more intensely yellow, and some of those like shadow crown is starting to like ink in, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, so Lada is like immediately she like recognizes that like, oh, we have an emotional issue here. We have overstepped. Something is not right. So she's going to like step forward and be like, "Come on then. Get it out of your system. Let's go."
Okay, I'm going to interject right here. Mechanically, did you spend your or take your ruin?
Oh no, I forgot.
No, that's okay. That's why I want to do it now because I will forget too.
Oh, I could just click on it. That's so
Yep.
cool. Okay.
hmm this also means you still have all those darkness tokens. You did not get rid of them,
Oh,
which
I
means
forgot.
you will. No, you don't. Like you should be at
Yeah.
10. Which means you can trigger this move on your own again. Like you can trigger the torn between whenever you want, but the next time you roll for something, you will get torn between again.
Okay.
This
Interesting.
is this is you are really on the edge here. I'm also going to say, um, from behind you, as you turn around and you're looking at Lotta, Marcus reaches out and grabs you right behind the neck. And you feel knowledge being sucked out of your brain. You can feel memories being pulled out. This is a memory that is going to give you a condition. And I can think of a few, but I'd like to give you the opportunity to say what memory would come out that would either leave Goodwin lovelorn or obsessed, or would you prefer to mark another ruin as he takes some bit of Goodwin's goodness away from you, out of you, or the memory thereof?
Hmm. Hmm. I think that it takes a memory of, so like Goodwin's like thousands of years old. He's been as a Ananukai, he's had multiple relationships. I think that it takes a memory of the end of a relationship and that he had and that was really special to him. And so he has this kind of like unfinished lovelorn business of this person that he can no longer remember what happened to them.
Like that. I'd also like to say and remind you and open this up to be added to the story. Um, this missing piece, this missing resolution means that you still feel that love and that lovelornness, that desire to be, I'm not even going to say with that person, but with someone,
Mm.
which means that feeling of Genesis thinking that she could never fall in love. Right now, even Genesis is feeling like lovelorn. It wants to find that love, which will take you one step closer to your destiny.
Yikes.
Lada, please proceed. Or Nick or Narkniksa, if you would like to add into this situation right now.
Yeah, no, Lada's basically like sensing that like we need to get Goodwin under control. So she's like, focus on me, like bring it here, come at me, while also like starting to pay attention to Marcus and wondering how she's gonna like reach over or through Goodwin to like shove Marcus off of Goodwin.
Are you touching Goodwin right now?
If Goodwin is stunned enough by Marcus to allow Lada to come forward, then yes, she's probably placed a hand on his chest.
You feel under your hand the dark scars moving underneath it. And Goodwin, you feel pure love, like you have never felt. Goodwin hasn't felt this. Genesis has never felt anything like this. This is pure, unadulterated love, not lust, not hunger. Love coming through your scars. Naknitsa, Nick, what are you two doing out during all this? There's pink, glowing, glittery light, saving these boys from getting eaten by rabid shadow rabbits.
Natisha was momentarily distracted by the beautiful pink light coming out from Lana and was a bit mesmerized for a bit, but then saw the green light coming out of Marcus and decided to attack Marcus because they did not like the green light. It did not feel good.
Sickly. It's not
Yes.
even like the radiation, it's just that there's something wrong and foul about this.
Yes. So I think I will try to do Unleash the Dark. To gain the upper hand. Let's see. I've used 2 tickets. Did it go? Wait, I didn't press something. This. Oh, fun!
Look at you rolling in disastrous successes tonight.
I know. I think this is our first night having them.
So, like, she's also too, or they're also when they are attacking, you see moths coming out of their fur and out of their cloak and just like surrounding Marcus as they also jump on Marcus.
And what is it that you were trying to do? Gain the upper hand?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, as you grab onto Marcus, you definitely have the upper hand. An unintended consequence. I want to push on your hunger. I would really, really, really like it to push you towards surrendering to the hunger. Would you take that, or would you prefer to take a condition?
I can push the hunger. I don't know what that will do.
Because it's the gnawing edge of hunger is the move to surrender to the hunger within you. So I'm giving you a choice. You can roll that, or you can take a condition to control yourself.
Okay, I think I will do the gnawing edge of hunger. Let's see what happens. Oh.
You have bonds.
I think I will use a bond.
Okay. Yeah, you only need one.
I think I'll use one of Lada's. Feeling Lada's love from earlier gave them some a little boost of help here. The delicious blood.
Yeah, Lada, how do you help in this moment, or is it the glowing pink in light?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the light is kind of, while also, while not an enemy, a weapon being used to deal with the shadows, it can also boost. So it's like wrapping itself around Noknitsa as kind of like an exoskeleton of like light and love to like enhance her strength.
Sorry. Please take control of the scene because the dogs are barking uncontrollably because someone just rang the bell.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got this exoskeleton of love and light wrapping around Noknitsa as um she is going in for this move that she's trying to pull off.
I also
Natisha?
imagine
Oh,
the hunger is like muted a bit by the love drugs.
Or is it spurred by the love drugs?
Yes, and I guess that would also mean their body is transforming. So again, so this time I think let's bring in the little mouth. So as she goes to take a bite, um, instead of a bite, there's something starts coming out of their throat, and they kind of feel this like kind of almost a tight feel in the throat and little almost start coughing a little bit, almost like they're choking, as the inside of their throat and their mouth starts to change, and I forgot what it's called. Brain words.
proboscis?
Yes, the proboscis comes out of their mouth and into Marcus's body. Um, and
I'm
yes.
curious if Nitsa is like evolving and like her body is changing, does she absorb this pink glowing exoskeleton into her form?
Ooh, that sounds really fun. Okay, let's do that. let's make them glow pink.
Okay.
A
Well,
literal glow up.
so so because you used the bond, that makes it an 8 to 10 to blunt the worst edges of your hunger and feed only as much as you need. So you get to choose one. Either your form becomes more human in nuclear condition, you describe who you wish you could feed on instead and gain a bond with them, or you can give in to the euphoria of the feeding, describe how you feel, and create or replace a hunger condition to reflect this.
Let's gain a bond back with Lada. I think at this moment they're like, with Lada's light surrounding them, they're just like, I really wish I could taste that love blood from Lada that I was tasting earlier. I really, that tasted so good and sweet, and just, I want that blood so much. As they're just like not devouring, drinking from Marcus.
Um, as you feel this, you also recognize that this pink glow, this scent of Lada, is much more like that which you tasted in the cottage than what you tasted earlier. No reason at all. All right, Nick. You haven't had a chance to do anything yet. What would you like to do in all this madness?
Well, I suppose I could try using Reshaped by Despair, which just triggers when I use Unleash the Dark. It lets me just do a thing whether I succeed or not. Probably going to go for the option that lets me uncover a key at great cost. But first, with Unleashing the Dark, I'm going to say that Nick is, feeling a little lonely or rejected at this point, as he's like the only one still standing by. He's like, well, better, use that super speed and time distortion to get in there and make it look like I was included all along. Just, basically, just anytime it looks like Marcus might be reaching for Nochnitsa to like grab her or like position or anything like that, Nick will just come in and like literally flying impact, just stomp on the arm or the leg or whatever. Just do his best to let Nochnitsa take her moment. Avoid reprisals. Gain the upper hand for now is ideally the case, but gonna have to spend some bonds for that to happen.
You would have to spend 3.
One with Nitsa, and I guess the 2 with Goodwin, because I know they're not my brother anymore.
Naktitsa and Goodwin, how do you help him in this moment? Or Nick, how do they help you?
Well, I don't know how many limbs Nitsa might have at this point, but I'm sure she has at least enough to keep Marcus in place. If I can, stop him from doing something, she can grab like the wrist or the elbow or whatever and get a position there. And Goodwin has enough martial arts knowledge that I'm sure, they can like do the stinger thing in like a pressure point or something so that just a limb goes completely numb, another one's like twisted the wrong way, it's about to break if he struggles too hard, that kind of thing. Any other ideas?
I like that.
Okay.
Bonds are gone.
Bonds are gone. Alrighty. So you choose to, and I think you said avoid reprisals, harm, or cost. And what was the other one?
Just maintaining or gaining the upper hand for now.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have him outnumbered, all of you.
In this process, though, I think Nick is, bursting some blood vessels, and his like white kind of Liberace, whatever, like zoot suit situation is like soaking through with blood at this point as he's pushing himself way too far. You maybe see a little bit of like the starlight and stuff that would be seeping out from his veins, coming out through the cufflinks and like the collar of the suit and stuff. Kind of white and fuzzy, I guess. But yeah, stained blood red now.
So the key, as you're trying to stomp him, you feel this sort of knowledge come off of Marcus as you try to stop him and grab hold of him. And that knowledge is almost comes to you as you were looking at a briefing before one of your missions. Like you are the person looking down at this manila envelope or folder, fairly recent. Looks like it's maybe a decade old. And the label on it is the Anunnaki Project. And inside is information about other Anunnaki that may exist and how they're being used in division. And this cost, I will let you decide between marking a condition or taking a marking of ruin, knowing that division knows you are not the last and they are doing some sort of experiments on your people, on what's left of your people. Kind of want to make it ruin because that's longer lasting, but I will leave it up to you.
I'll take the ruin point. Just adding that now. I suppose there's a pause at some point where Nick kind of gets stock still. But yeah, thank you.
And so I'll put the key in now.
Knocknates is going to make the best merchandising like products, all shapes and all sizes.
All right, You all have Marcus surrounded. You have 6 angry young men of different nationalities um, who are recovering from their pain and in various stages of worship of the glowing pink goddess. I think that's a great place to end tonight's session. So, thank you, everyone, for joining us today and joining this fantastic session of Apocalypse Keys. Huge round of applause for my players who leaned in, made bold moves, took some ruin. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. You, you delight me all. Thank you. I hope that they delighted the rest of you. Let's say our goodbyes, starting with the bottom. Not the bottom. Well, I don't know if you're bottom. Z. You don't have to say
Sorry.
whether or not you're
Food number 3.
I unfortunately
Very
shifted
good.
away from the tab where I could unmute myself in a timely manner to reply to you. Hello, I'm Z. Yeah, I'll let you decide whether or not I'm a bottom. And I loved being your demon host, Goodwin Genesis combo this evening. And if you want to follow me, I have TikTok at z.craft.adventures. Yeah, it's been so much fun.
Amazing. Casey.
That's it from Nick and me. Thank you for joining us on our cold and dark journey through time. Keep those adventures coming. I'll see you next week.
Sam.
Thank you for joining me and Lotta as we did a lot. We did a lot. we were doing a lot this session, and having a lot of fun doing it. You can find me on Discord, just Gula. That's Goola. But see you next week. Thank you.
And Natisha.
Hello, or goodbye. Thank you for feeding with me and Nick Noknitsa. And I hope to see you again next time for more eerie adventures.
Yay. All right. And I'm going to close us out. I've been Celtic the Nephew, your hostess with the mostest. Um, you can find me at Celtic the Nephew on pretty much all the socials. And we will see you next week. Same bat time or same moth time, same moth station.